This is the man of the hour, Lio Rush, and make sure to tune in to Know the Ropes podcast now.
Oh, expect this beat.
Yeah.
Trauma time.
What's the word, y'all? It's KTR _podcast, Know the Ropes podcast. You are now live and direct. Man, forget who we are. We are with the man of the hour today. We are here with Lio Rush, man. It is an honor.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir. We are here live, man. How you doing today, bro? How you feeling, man?
I'm doing good, man. A lot of exciting news has been dropping left and right, so I'm feeling pretty good.
I feel you, man. You've been buzzing on social media. I've been seeing that and everything. You know, we real happy for you and your journey and everything. You know, from when we've been following your journey for a good minute, man. We are real honored about everything. And so but like I said, you know, everything. This is episode 12 of Know the Ropes podcast. Before we get started, you know, be sure to go like, comment, subscribe, and everything. Social media, Twitter, Instagram, KTR _podcast. Facebook, YouTube, Know the Ropes Podcast, every podcast platform, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcast, everything, Know the Ropes Podcast, no special spelling. But we're going to get right into it, though. Mm-hmm. So he's going to hold it up because we know this man's busy. You know, that's why he's the man of the hour. So we're going to kick off to my bro, J-Bo, real quick so he can kick off this little interview we got real quick for him.
What's up, Leo, man? See, look, I haven't been able to speak that much since we started, man, because I'm a little starstruck myself. Got to put that out there. but man, it's honored that I'm able to interview you. A few things I want to put out there. It's good to see that you're back in the ring, especially for Game Changer Wrestling. I love to see that you're still in it. And I had to give you a huge congratulations for being in the Super J Cup tournament coming out December 12th.
Yeah.
Man, I am excited for that, and I look forward to the amazing stuff you're going to do in the ring, big dog.
Appreciate that.
No problem, dude. Let's go ahead and get the first question out. So you debuted in 2014 for a wrestling promotion in Baltimore known as Maryland Championship Wrestling at the age of 20. So my question for you is, what inspired Lio Rush to be a wrestler?
What inspired me? I feel like, well, first and foremost, I was a fan ever since I was 5 years old. Yeah. And, you know, I didn't really know that becoming a professional wrestler was even possible. I didn't know how to even go that route. So I just continued to watch it until I was like maybe like 10 to 12 years old. And I don't know what clicked. I don't know what hit me, but as soon as I, you know, turned that age, I said to myself, you know what, screw it. I'm going to try to figure out any way possible to try to make this like dream happen. And I started amateur wrestling in high school. And I just kept watching wrestling and, you know, watching, you know, greats like Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Jeff Hardy, Tajiri. Like I liked a lot of the cruiserweight guys. And Kurt Angle inspired me a lot to do amateur wrestling in high school. So I feel like those guys were big influences for me to start my wrestling journey.
It was a good number of wrestlers that you looked up to that helped you get inspired.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I feel that, man. That's what's up. All right, J Harv, what you got for him?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna handle the more hip hop side of things, man. I've recently gotten into your music. You have a very aggressive flow. I really enjoy that. I compare a lot of wrestlers to certain musicians, especially when we go back talking about legends and things like that, because a lot of their career trajectories match up. So one of my questions for you is, where did your interest to start making music come from, especially hip hop?
I feel like it was I wouldn't say like an easy transition, but I was just used to music in general. I grew up in a very musical oriented family. My parents were gospel singers. They were nominated for like Stellar Awards in the past. And I just grew up around musical like performances and like being on tour with like my parents and everything like that. So yeah, I was just used to it. And then when I got to high school, I started writing poetry here and there, and just out of nowhere, I feel like as soon as I had I had a little, I wouldn't say setback, but I had a break from WWE, and I just wanted to take my mind off of wrestling, and I started writing again, and I turned one of my poems into like a rap song, which was the first single that I put out was Scenic Lullaby. So
that was your first single.
Yeah, that was my first one.
Well done. It's also cool to learn that you toured with your parents, because I guess that got you ready for touring as a wrestler as well, being able to.
Yeah, I just saw it. I experienced it, from literally since I was born until I got up to high school. So it was a lot. I was involved in a lot when I was younger.
Oh,
yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna jump back on the wrestling. We're going tag team on this one. So I do want to talk about your stint in Combat Zone Wrestling. So you debuted for the promotion around the end of 2014, and in 2015 you beat Joey Janela for the CZW Wire Championship. And then about 2017, you defeated Chainsaw Joe Gacy for the CZW World Heavyweight Championship. Also, I do want to point out your match that you had with Davey Richards for the belt. That match was dope. Davey Richards is one of my favorites. Even though you didn't win the match, you won the fight, in my opinion. So that it was just dope. But what I want to talk about is your Lionheart character. Man, when I saw Lionheart, I was like, dude, everything was dope. From the music, from the entrance to the persona, everything was dope. So my question is, what creative juices help you create Lionheart, and will we see Lionheart again in the future?
I gotta give you some shit. It's Blackheart. I gotta give you a little bit of shit for that. But
you're right.
It's all good, man.
We will see Blackheart.
But I think the inspiration for that was something that I didn't even plan out. That was just something that kind of happened organically, like over time. Like I felt like I was struggling with a character, or trying to become a character or have a gimmick, like on the indie scene. I was getting a lot of praise for my in-ring wrestling ability, but nobody would ever talk about my character or my promos or anything like that. And I was always like jealous of people who had that. I felt like I was missing that to be somewhat of like a total package. So I went out on a limb and I did something different. I was in a dark phase of my personal life at that time, and I figured why not implement that into wrestling, because I didn't know how to deal with it. So I used that emotion to kind of drive that character, and everybody ended up loving it. Everybody related to it, and it was pretty cool. That was something that I just wasn't expecting, and it's still crazy to me. After all of these years, it's been like four years now since the last time I did that, and people are still talking about it. So that's pretty cool. Will I ever do it again? I'm not sure.
Man, come on,
I feel like even when I was doing it, I was very protective over it, with just doing it with and within like CZW. I didn't want to do it in any other indie promotions or anything like that. It kind of grew from a storyline that I did with Joey Janela. So I'm not saying I'm ruling it out completely, but it would definitely just have to be like the right moment, the right time, the right storyline and stuff like that. It's just not something that I'm just gonna like bring out just for pops.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, and with a character like that, I understand taking your time with that one, because I think that was the perfect moment in CZW. I'm looking for another perfect moment.
For sure.
Feel that. Yeah. You just described to us how you came up with one of your most iconic characters to date. So I would like you to describe your creative process how you come up with the sounds, with the cadences, with the different ways that you attack your music style.
Yeah, I feel, and this is weird. Like a lot of people don't know how to do this, or people aren't comfortable with doing it. But I like writing without music. Like I just like write. And a lot of people like to kind of just go in the booth and they'll like write in the booth while they're listening to the song and stuff like that. Like I can write while I'm home. Like I can write 4, 5, 6 songs like while I'm home, uh, and you know its entirety. And then when I go to the booth, I already know what I'm gonna do and stuff like that. So I think there's not much to it, you know. Like I sit down, I write everything in my phone on my notes, and I just kind of like zone out, and I just start writing. Inspiration I get from things that have happened in my life, whether that was during my time at work, or something that's going on in my personal life, like back at home. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So,
Definitely feel that, man.
yeah. I want to jump over to Ring of Honor for a second. Over in 2015, you made your debut for Ring of Honor, and just a few months later, not only did you enter the Top Prospect tournament, but you won the Top Prospect tournament. And we all know the Top Prospect tournament, projected a lot of wrestlers. We were looking at Punishment Martinez, who is now Damian Priest. We look at Donovan Dajkovic. We look at the War Raiders, who even went against each other in the finals. So with you being one of the winners of the Top Prospect tournament, what was that experience? What's that feeling going in and knowing that you won one of Ring of Honor's prominent tournaments that they have?
Yeah, that was really cool. That was huge for me, because I spent 2 years trying to be in Ring of Honor, and the first tryout that I had for them, I impressed them, but they said that I wasn't ready. So I went back on the indies, and I started, trying to get myself booked for international tours, and tried to just get myself booked on some of the bigger independent promotions. And that's when I started going to CZW, and I started going to PWG and Evolve and stuff like that. And by the time that second tryout came along, which was maybe like about a year later, or not even a year later, maybe about 6 months later, I tried out for Ring of Honor again, and just kind of like blew it out the water. And they said, you know what, we want to put you in the Top Prospect tournament, and that was pretty cool. Just winning it, being able to win it was huge, because this was like a company that I kind of grew up watching, like on the internet, like watching like YouTube clips and stuff like that, and being able to just have that trust from them, like, hey, you're gonna win this thing. We clearly see the value in you. We see that you're gonna be a possible mainstay here, and we want to invest in you. So for them to give me that opportunity to not only be in the tournament, but to win the whole thing was really cool. So yeah, that Ring of Honor is like huge, historic. I will always see, and I don't know if this is gonna get me in trouble or not, because I know they're on TV now, but I would always see Ring of Honor as like the top independent promotion. Like there's just so much history there, so many people that literally run the wrestling business in this day and age have all gone through Ring of Honor. People like AJ Styles, people like Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, the list goes on and on and on, so it's really cool.
As a follow-up to that, when you won the tournament, you went against Jay Lethal for the belt. I want to know your experience working with Jay Lethal. In 2016, Jay Lethal, he was a different animal in Ring of Honor. Yeah. So I want to know what's your experience working with him specifically. I'm just curious.
During that time, it was super intimidating. Like you said, like he was a different animal. Like Jay Lethal was looked at as like the man in Ring of Honor. So I was I was like, man, this is a huge, opportunity. I think that was my first match, literally after the Top Prospect tournament, and I main evented during WrestleMania weekend, which was crazy. So, yeah, he's so good. He's incredibly good. I remember taking little things from him when he was like one of the coaches during the tryouts and the seminars, and I would always just look at his mannerisms and how he followed through with like all of his strikes and stuff like that. And he's really good at all of the little technical things. So yeah, it was pretty cool to be able to work with him.
That's what's up, man. Thank you for that.
Yeah, he is good at the technical things and good at showing, you both were really good at working the crowd.
Yeah.
Which segues into my next question as far as working the crowd. What is your favorite song that you've written and released so far, and what is your favorite song to actually perform in front of a crowd?
So I'll answer that second one first. So I haven't been able to perform in front of anybody yet with my music. I was supposed to have my first show right before COVID started, and that didn't end up happening. But my favorite song that I've written, that's hard. That is a difficult one. I think I'm just gonna say I Wonder. I think that was that was my second single that I put out, and it's a little on the older side, but I feel like that song was just perceived like really well. A lot of people like that song. A lot of people related to that song. That song had tons of downloads and streams, and the music video was really cool. I had like fans involved and my closest friends and family members like involved. So I think that was my favorite project that I've done.
It seemed really therapeutic, the actual song.
Appreciate that.
I could see that.
I wrote that in my kitchen just randomly.
Yeah. like inspiration strikes in weird
places. I was like talking to my mom like at the same time. Like it was weird. Like
yeah. That's smooth.
You know what? I do want to talk about that I Wonder song, because on Instagram, I made a comment on one of your pages, and I tried to say the lyrics, but I like messed up the word or something, and you called me out on it.
Man, that's twice.
Your shit twice on you, man. Your shit twice.
That was some of the most likes I got on the single comment, though, so I ain't even mad at that. All right, back to wrestling. So I do want to talk about WWE. We got to. All right. So you did a lot. Honestly, you did a lot at this point that a lot of wrestlers don't even get to do in their own career. So that's a big accomplishment. But when you was in the WWE, you was a 23-year-old, 24-year-old, 25-year-old piece of gold. You the hype man and the manager for Lashley. Not gonna forget that. That's what's up. Let's see. Oh, walking down the ramp at WrestleMania. I know that had to be huge for you. And then also former NXT Cruiserweight Champion. This sort of like a two-parter, because I'm gonna put my little finesse into it. Number one, I want to know, what was your experience walking down the ramp at WrestleMania? Thousands and thousands and thousands of people, emotions flying. What was that experience? And then the second kind of follow-up question was that, what learning experience did you take from being in the WWE?
Yeah. So WrestleMania was crazy. I mean, if you look back on the entrance, on me and Bobby's entrance, like you could just see it. Like I was hyped. I was into it, just walking out. And when I first walked out, it was so clouded because there was so much smoke and fog from other entrances and stuff like that. And then when I got to a certain point past the fog, and I just look out and you see just like a sea of people. Yeah, it was just insane. Like I will never forget that. I did a show. I believe it was Crown Jewel out in Saudi Arabia. And I remember that venue being massive. and even like Royal Rumble that year was huge. It was out in Arizona, and I just thought to myself, like, the crowds can't get any bigger than this. Like, there's no way. And then, you know, you walk out in WrestleMania and it's like twice the size, and you're just like, holy shit! Like, it was incredible. It was definitely a moment that I will never forget. So that was pretty cool. What I've learned, I feel like I've learned so much. You know, I definitely, you know, walking into WWE and walking out, you know, just two completely different people. Like, you know, the lessons that I've learned, you know, and some of these things I kind of already known about myself. It was more of an internal battle more than it was, you know, anything else. And a lot of people, you know, I'm not the only one that goes through, you know, bullshit like within like WWE. Like, there's so many people, you hear so many stories. It's just a matter of, you know, who can handle what, you know, what people have going on in their personal life, and because everybody is going through the same thing, but not everybody is going to react the same way, because, you know, we all have different things going on.
Right.
So, I'll always say this, and it's partly with WWE, it's partly myself, but I learned, you know, patience. Patience is always going to be my biggest weakness. You know, when you have a company like that and you're dealing with, you know, well over 300 plus wrestlers, you know, the attention or the focus is not always going to be on you. And I was so used to doing things for myself, like on the indies and grinding and, you know, booking my own stuff and making sure everything was like handled and getting my own merch and stuff like that. It was a challenge for me being in WWE, and, you know, the push just wasn't all about me. I had no control over my own success. So the biggest thing that I learned was, you know, just having patience, and of course that a business, it needs to be, you know, ran at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, a lot of things. I forgot who said this, but I believe it was Hunter. But he said that nobody's bigger than the business, and I'm sure a lot of people say that. But, you know, I think CM Punk said it too. Another thing, you know, famous person who's gone through like bullshit and came out the other end of it.
Right.
But, you know, when you leave, you know, somebody's just going to replace you. You know, it's not going to hurt the company. So, yeah, the biggest thing is just patience for me. That's the biggest thing that I've learned from there. A lot of things could have been handled differently on my end. A lot of things could have been handled differently on WWE's end. But the biggest thing was just patience. That just wraps the whole experience in one thing. So,
all right, that's what's up. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, you know better than us. You got a lot more firsthand experience. Boy, we do a lot of critiquing on this here show. As far as what they do with these pushes, these stop and goes, man. You had a lot of y'all had a lot of potential, especially when you were with Lashley, man. For real, that was gold to me. To me, that was gold. I felt like they could have did a lot with it.
Yeah,
whatever, you know. Under the bridge, I guess.
Under the bridge. Even like see that thing coming where you was gonna be as manager. I remember seeing that at first. So I was like, he's gonna manage Lashley. It's different. But I'm with it though.
I was hyped because we all, you know, we agreed that Lashley needed a mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Your the energy that you gave out, your persona that you you know, adopted for that role was perfect for him as this big powerhouse of a dude that don't really need to. Man, whatever. All right, we ain't gonna do it.
He was about to get to his feelings real quick.
Man, I can go. Back to the music side, my brother. I can tell by listening to your music, you have a lot more influences than just hip hop. As far as, you know, rap, you have used a lot of different sounds, a lot of different tempos, a lot of different styles. So, what can you give me 3 to 5 artists across any genre, doesn't really matter, that influence your musical sound?
Genres or artists?
Artists across any genre, like any artist, doesn't matter, hip hop, pop.
Yeah.
So
Hip hop, just because he's so versatile. Like a lot of, I mean, this is an argument is made so many times, but I mean, I personally think Drake is incredible. Like he can kind of do.
I'm with you on that one, though. It's all good. I'm with you.
I just think he can do so much. He's extremely versatile. You know, like whether
that's for sure.
Whether you like his music or not, like I feel like he can just adapt to anybody's song. You know, whether if he's a feature on somebody's song, he can adapt to it. You know, no matter what the genre is. I would say I really enjoy Post Malone's music.
Okay.
Who would I say? I've really grown to like Ed Sheeran's music a lot. And then there's tons of like bands that influence me, like on the rock side. Like I listen to a lot of like screamo and heavy metal when I was in my like teenage years. Okay. So I take a lot of things from rock itself. So yeah, there's tons of different things that I pull from. I feel like it's the same with like wrestling. There's tons of different, you know, wrestlers and athletes that I pull certain things from, and I break it down to like their kicks, and I break it down to like how they grab somebody and how they run, and I just break it down like little by little. And the same with like music, from people's, you know, ad libs to how they rap or sing with certain cadences, and if they sing like in the pocket or like out of the pocket, and just making things just different and unique. So yeah, I can't pinpoint, you know, just three specific people.
Yeah. All right, this is my last question for you, and it's kind of similar to Harv's question about, you know, your top three. Last month, you posted a picture on Instagram of a list of names, and in the caption, you wrote, you know, who would you like to see me face? Just to put mine out there, I would love to see you go against Chris Bay and Taiji Ishimori. I think you and Ishimori will tear down any show, personally. But my question for you is, other than yourself, in your own opinion, who do you think are the top three wrestlers in the game today? They could be men, they can be women, it could be a combination, doesn't matter. Who does Lio Rush think are the top three in the game today? I know, man.
Now, what is this all involved? Are we talking about just like in-ring, or
let's do as far as if you were to see their name, sort of like on the list of names, who's three that you will pick? You need to watch the match right now. Just flat out, all around. In-ring persona, mic work, wrestling ability, everything.
Let's see. I'm gonna try to break this down into three different. So if I had to pick somebody in WWE,
okay.
I would like AJ Styles. I would watch AJ Styles, any AJ Styles match I would watch. Okay. I think promos are cool. The extremely believable. His in-ring work is, of course, like incredible. Mm-hmm. He looks the part. He looks like a fucking superstar. So that I really enjoy. I haven't watched the product since I've been away from WWE, but I have scrolled through clips here and there, and just the visual of him with that guy. I don't know what his name is, but he's like 7'7".
Jordan. Jordan. Oh, I can't even say it.
Yeah, that visual is like incredible. So I'm sure, you know, money is going to be made from that. if I had to pick somebody in AEW or like Impact or what are some other places, Ring of Honor or whatever the case may be, I think I would have to go with. I mean, this is super cliche. I don't know if it's cliche or not, but I would say Chris Jericho. Just because he's super entertaining. I mean, even though he's a little on the older side now, he can still like go.
He can still go.
Right,
Yeah, he can still go. I would watch a Chris Jericho match. And you already know like the build up to the match is going to be great.
Great, yeah.
So, and I love Okada. I like how simple he is, but I will watch an Okada match over and over and over again.
Really?
I would definitely watch an Okada match.
Yeah. The last one that was a shocker, but I agree. I enjoy watching his matches. Oh yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard. I can't just pick 3 people. There's so many out there, but those 3, like, and maybe I'm being a little biased because I haven't worked those people yet, and I want to work them.
Right.
So yeah.
No, I get it. You know, I know it was kind of hard putting down 3. That's why I had to limit it because we could open it to a whole lot bigger.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
we got to make it challenging for you, Leo.
Yeah.
Well, my last question for you, my brother, again on the music side, would be your dream musical collaboration with any artist on the planet right now that you feel like you would make an anthem with, just anything that would pop anywhere. Anybody want to hear it? The car, the club, barbecues, birthday parties for the old folks, babies. Everybody want to hear it.
I think I would really like to do a song. I'm not gonna say Drake again because
I knew you were. I felt it.
I ain't gonna
felt it coming. I felt it coming.
I'm not gonna do that. Okay. I would love to do a song Post Malone. Yeah, but his style, I really like his style. It's different. I would definitely like to do a song.
He's versatile. He make a lot of different sounds.
Either him, I wish, rest in peace to Juice WRLD. I wish that he was still alive, but I would have loved to make a song with him. Yeah. There's too many people, man. Stop making me choose. But yeah, that's it. If I sit here and think about it, I'm gonna be thinking all day and giving you guys names. So, but that's what I think.
All right, all good.
So that's a good peek into the mind of the musical mind of Leo. So we appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Yes, we do. And now it's down to my final 2 questions. It's gonna be real quick. You ain't gotta worry about it. Ain't gonna take too long. So it's gonna be just one wrestling, one music. So mine is for the wrestling side. What's some advice that you'll give to a young, aspiring, wrestlers trying to get into the game right now?
Oof. I'm saying this because I know that it's hard, and even though I accomplished so much in such a short amount of time,
you did.
that came with major sacrifice. I would just in order to make it in professional wrestling, like because everybody wants to be at the top, everybody wants to be a world champion and stuff like that. And I feel like if you want to aspire to be in that position, you got to eat, breathe, and sleep professional wrestling. It takes a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of being in pain. It's a lot of disappointment. But consistency is key. You gotta move through the disappointment. You gotta move through the downfalls, and you gotta move through not having things happen right away for you. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of persistence and consistency. And you know, it always helps to have a good group of people around you that are like-minded, that can help you get through it. Because if you try to do it on your own, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it is definitely going to be a difficult experience. But yeah, if you want it, you got to go after it. You know, you got to chase it. You got to hunt it down, because the wrestling business is always moving. It's always evolving, and you know, you can't just want it. You, like I said, you got to hunt it down, because that person that's training, you know, at 3 a.m, you know, 6-7 states in between you, like they want the same, you know, job that you want.
Right.
So if you're not working hard, or if you're working hard, somebody's working that much harder than you. So you got to keep moving at all times.
Cool. That's right. You believe that one. And it's my last question. I couldn't let this opportunity go by without asking that, and they gonna know when I ask this question. So on your album, on the final match, one of my favorite songs there was Heat. Then you came out the remix with Heat featuring Enzo.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had to ask this question. How was it like making a song with him?
It was, I tell you one thing, it was fast, because I sent him the song with the open verse, and I lied to you not, I had his verse in like 35 minutes, probably less. So he was super excited to be a part of it. I know I've never met him in person before.
Right.
And I think he was gone when I got to WWE. So yeah, I mean, I know he's gone through shit, and he's got his own story and stuff like that. But I knew for a fact that, you know, people would enjoy the pairing between the both of us on a song. So
I definitely did. That was my shit for real. I heard them. I was like, hey, they just dropped the songs together. Man, I'm like, bro, it's hard. Yeah, but that's all the questions I got. That's all the questions y'all got. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say? You want to final words, my brother?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Man of the hour.
Yeah. This your show.
Yeah, just follow me. Follow me on all of my social media platforms, because I got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And you know, I'm always, you know, nowadays it feels like I'm always posting something new, you know, every single day. So, you know, just try to keep up with what I'm doing, because a lot of cool things are happening, and I want everybody to be able to watch them and experience it. So you can follow me on my Twitter and on Instagram and on TikTok, because I just changed my name on all three to the same thing, but at the Lionel Green. You can follow me on all of my social media platforms, and just keep continuing to follow the journey, because it is incredible right now, and I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, we will continue to follow you, and we are grateful for you being on this show too, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
But like I said, that's all the time we have, and that's all the time he has, because he's a busy man. He got stuff to do, and we ain't gonna hold us no longer. This is K.T.R_podcast, No Roast Podcast. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, K.T.R_podcast, Facebook, YouTube, No Roast Podcast, No Roast Podcast on all podcast platforms: Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor Podcasts. We want everything that you can find us on. And that's all the time we have. Episode 12, KTR, and we are out.
What should they do, Big Harv?
Pump those numbers.
Don't play it wrong. I say good God. I ain't felt the need to kill alone. Respect the J dot, I'll praise the JR. Crew step wrong, that there's a graveyard. Don't play wrong.